What is good, everyone? It is your boy, Junkyard James, and this is another episode of the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. I am your host, and I hope you guys are having a great day. It is Monday, which means it's Solo Dolo Day on the podcast. And since we did not have a Thursday show last week, this week's Thursday show is going to essentially recap a lot of what we missed on AEW over the last couple of weeks. We'll go through Dynasty. We'll go through what we saw last week on AEW Dynamite. And then whatever happens on Dynamite this coming Thursday. All of that, we'll just do a big recap and a Q&A and things regarding just getting up to speed where we are in AEW. But today's show is a big show. But an even bigger show is going to be not this Thursday, though we still want you to listen to this Thursday's show. But next Thursday's podcast episode, we are going to, since the WWE is doing a WWE draft. The NFL draft just happened. We are going to, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, May the 9th, me and my co-host K-Dog are going to act like general managers of AEW Dynamite and AEW Collision. And we're going to do an AEW fantasy draft. Who do we want to see as the main guys and gals? That'll be May 9th. More details to come on how it'll work, if there's any restrictions on rosters and things of that nature. What I can tell you is I'm going to be the quote-unquote general manager of AEW Dynamite, while my co-host K-Dog will be the guy running Collision on Saturday nights. And stay tuned for that. More info to come. Probably this Thursday. We'll plug it again. But this episode that I want to share, this Solo Dolo episode, as you can tell by the title, to be AEW is to be under attack. That is a quote from, I want to say sometime at the end of 2023 from Tony Khan, sometime last year. That was a quote that he said in an interview or in an article somewhere. To be AEW is to be under attack. And I think we are seeing that personified every single goddamn day by the WWE bitches, who all they do is bitch and moan about a product that they don't fucking watch. And I'm sorry, I try to keep this as PG as I can, but it gets on my fucking nerves. Because I could sit on here every damn week and talk about something I don't watch and something that I don't find entertaining, and that's essentially all WWE product. But I don't watch the show, so I'm not going to critique anything about the show. I've said this several times before me and K-Dog joined forces and there were a two-man crew, when I was just doing every episode of Solo Dolo. I think I said this several times. If you don't watch the goddamn product, you have nothing to complain about. It's not our job as fans of a show to complain about the behind the scenes metrics and KPIs. Those are cool to see. But if, as a fan, I don't give a shit. Like the Q1 metrics, Brandon, oh man, I can't remember his name. WrestleNomics. Brandon Thurston, I think his name is, with WrestleNomics. If you subscribe to his Patreon, the WrestleNomics Patreon, you get all of the reports that he put, and the Q1 numbers year over year just came out from WrestleNomics, and AEW from Q1, Dynamite has dropped like 7%. Collision has dropped in viewership a little bit. Rampage has dropped in viewership year over year. That's not for me to discuss as a, like, I don't see the behind the scenes. I'm not going to sit there and bitch and moan about numbers when I'm not on the board, or I'm not an EVP, or I'm not hired by the damn company. I'm a fan of the goddamn show. I'm going to sit here as a fan of AEW or as a fan of WWE, and I'm going to critique that which is what I know, which is what I see, which is the weekly TV show. That's what I'm going to critique. But it seems like these WWE bitches, who all they do is sit and talk and bitch and moan about how terrible AEW is and how it's on the verge of collapse. Why does it fucking matter so much to these fucking people? Why does it matter? You don't watch the goddamn product in the first place, so why does it matter to you if AEW is dying? What they so-called say. Like, they say they're dying. Like, come the fuck on now. I could sit here every week and talk about how since the 3 weeks that Cody Rhodes has been WWE champion, since WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes has had one fucking match. What difference is him and Roman Reigns' title reign? They don't fucking fight. They sit there and they blabber for an hour every goddamn show that they're on, cutting promos that nobody gives a fuck about. And for what? For what reason? Why are they... But I don't, because I don't watch the goddamn product. I'm not a fan of SmackDown. I'm not a fan of Raw. So I'm not going to waste any time talking about it. I'm not going to waste my breath week after week after week. I'm not going to write article after article talking about the death of the goddamn company that I don't really watch. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of breath. Touch grass. Do something. Get a life. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk about what I know, what I've seen. I'm not going to talk about some behind-the-scene bullshit that I have no insider clue about. I'm not a dirt sheet. I'm a wrestling fan with a podcast. You know? Oh, well, AEW, they just need to cater to a casual market. No, they need to cater to their own fucking fan base. The casuals ain't going to watch. Oh, well, if they just catered to the casuals, they could grow the fan base. They could grow the market. They could grow. I've said this time and time again. AEW isn't about growing wrestling. It's meant to be an alternative. It's meant to be that which is for those who don't want WWE. Their main goal is not to grow wrestling. Their main goal is to be an alternative. And that's the only goal AEW has. Warner Bros. Discovery is thrilled with the numbers that they post on a weekly basis. Warner is thrilled. They are ecstatic for what AEW is doing. They're ecstatic with the pay-per-view buys. They're ecstatic with all of this. They love it. I'm so fucking tired, week after week after week, of seeing hate-filled shit from people who don't fucking watch the product. You don't watch. Don't talk about it. I'm not going to sit here talking about why the fucking New York Yankees suck, and I haven't watched a Yankees game in fucking forever. I don't even know who's on the goddamn Yankees. They have Juan Soto, I think. I don't know who's on the team anymore. I don't know who their pitching is. I know they have Anthony Volpe because he's on my fantasy baseball team. He's the only fucking New York Yankee I know and really give a shit about. And I only give a shit about him because I need him to do good for fantasy. But I'm not going to talk about how the New York Yankees suck when I haven't watched a Yankees game in forever. And the only time I would watch a Yankees game is if they're playing the Atlanta Braves because I'm a Braves fan. And even then, I can't because that's a different story with the MLB. But I'm not going to talk shit about the Braves because I haven't seen a Braves game this year. I see the scores, but I don't know what's going on in the games. It's just tiring to listen to people talk about, like, who was it? Fucking Kevin Nash, who was like, yeah, Will Ospreay needs to change his physique. The man's just put on a 6.5-star fucking match at Dynasty against Bryan Danielson, and you're saying he's not within physique. First it was he can't do the grind, and then he's out of shape and his physique's not right. Well, what is it? What is it with Ospreay? Well, they just so fucking butthurt that he decided to sign with AEW that all the fucking old ass legends have to talk shit about him? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of like these are the same people that talk shit about Sean Ross Sapp and Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. You know, the ones with the actual know of the business. They have their connections within the business. They're the journalists of the fucking business. And yet we're supposed to take Bully Ray seriously about why he fucking hates AEW when he was at WrestleMania as a fucking special guest referee, and he was at SmackDown as a member of the supposed draft room for one of the brands. Like, we're supposed to take this guy seriously? Like he doesn't have a fucking bias? We're supposed to take Eric Bischoff seriously? When we know the reason he's talking shit about AEW was because Tony Khan hasn't hired him? Because he was sure damn glad to be on AEW TV years ago when Tony Khan paid him to be on the damn show. It's like, come the fuck on now. And Swerve Strickland's getting shit on because they made the decision to let him wrestle more than once in a fucking century while he's the world champion. He's had 3 matches in a week. And well, it's so dumb that you're letting your champion not have 500 hours to cut a promo. Why? As we saw with the numbers, the number of people that we got on the carryover from Big Bang Theory is going to be much lower than the numbers we get tomorrow for Collision, when they have the carryover from the fucking NBA playoff game. Don't sit here and talk like you know big game when you don't know the purpose. Swerve is a fighting champion. He's a baby face. He's not supposed to just sit here and talk shit. He's not fucking Cody Rhodes. He's not Roman Reigns. He's a fighting champion. AEW champions wrestle. That's their motto. They say it every fucking week now. It's AEW. We're the best wrestle. It's not we're the best do soap opera hour. It's we're the best wrestle. The show is about wrestling. It's not about building some deep storyline. And yet, even if there was a deep storyline, it's the first fucking episode of Dynamite after the pay-per-view. You're not supposed to have a story well developed when you're creating a new story. I don't know if you've ever read a goddamn fiction book in your life, but chapter 1, you typically don't get to the climax. You're typically introducing characters. And guess what? Swerve's match wasn't telling the story of Swerve Strickland. It was telling the story of the Don Callis family. Using a match that wasn't even for a title. It was a AEW title eliminator match to determine if Kyle Fletcher gets a title opportunity. And we're using this match to tell the story of eventually when Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher leave the Don Callis family. But you accuse AEW of failing to tell a good fucking story, and when they attempt to try to tell the damn story and set up the story, oh, well, it's fucking dumb that they're trying to tell this story, and I get the point of the story, but they shouldn't be telling it this way. Just say you fucking hate the product. I would respect people a lot fucking more if they were just blunt-ass fucking honest about the reason why they hate AEW. You hate AEW because it exists. You hate AEW because it's not WWE. And that's fine. You're allowed to hate on the goddamn product. But stop hiding behind some facade that you actually give a damn about what Tony Khan does, and you give a damn about the product. That you give a damn about the fact that AEW exists. Stop faking. Just tell the goddamn truth. You hate AEW because it exists. You don't want it to exist. You hate the competition. You want WWE to be the big dog. Don't act like you care about AEW existing. You don't. You don't. Just be authentic. Be real. And if you hate the goddamn product, don't talk about it. But let me tell you why, and I'm going to get a little preachy right now. Let me tell you fucking why these people just have to, week after week after week, attack AEW. Because they have no other content to talk about. It gets them views, or it's supposed to get them views. Some of these motherfuckers don't even know how to get themselves views talking with a opinion that is the majority opinion on the IWC. They appeal themselves to the Jim Cornette fans and the Vince Russo fans and the Eric Bischoff fans, and they can't even win that group over. Half the goddamn time. They say these things just for clout. If we stopped giving them the attention, the views, the monetization power, they'd swap foot. Why'd you think JD swapped? He used to be all up on Tony Khan's nutsack. But it became more popular to talk shit about AEW, and so JD, now every opportunity he can, shits on AEW. Because it gets him more views. I don't love seeing people who don't give a fuck about the product talk shit about the product. I don't give a fuck about a lot of things, and they spend 0% of my time. The only time those certain things get brought up is when somebody brings them up. I don't think about WWE half the goddamn time. I don't watch the product. It has no effect on my life. And then we get to this past Wednesday. Tony Khan introduces himself as an on-screen character to tell a story. So first it was, there's no payoff for showing the CM Punk footage. There's no payoff. And yet they're creating the payoff. They're creating the story on why the footage had to be shown. They're introducing the story. Oh, and Tony Khan, he said this one time, and he would never be on screen. Well, we all say things. At that point in time, I'm sure Tony Khan thought he never would have had to be an on-screen character. Well, now he is. He is an on-screen character. And for 3 motherfucking days, the NFL Network has talked about AEW and has talked about Tony Khan. They haven't been talking about the WWE. The NFL Network has been talking about motherfucking Tony Khan. Pat McAfee, a WWE fucking announcer, had to even talk about Tony Khan wearing the neck brace on his sports show. Yet, Triple H can be an on-screen character. Stephanie McMahon can be an on-screen character. Vince McMahon can be an on-screen character. But Tony Khan does it, and God forbid they lose their fucking mind. Tony should never. This is just dumb. It's just dumb. They're going to show the footage, and now he's an on-screen. It's just dumb. They should have never done any of it. Again, be real. Be real. You don't give a fuck. Just say it. Say it out loud. Admit it. I wish AEW would die. I wish AEW would do this. Say that. Be real. Be authentic. Be honest. Stop living behind a mask. Just be real with yourself. Can I tell you something right now? I don't give a fuck about it at WWE. And I will say that. I don't care. They can be the greatest thing in the goddamn world. They could go to bankruptcy tomorrow. I wouldn't give a shit. I'm not going to spend my life talking about it. I'm not going to go week after week after week after week just shitting on a product I don't watch. It's a waste of my time and of yours. So yes, I'm gonna hold to this belief. I'm gonna hold firm to it. Because every fucking week, there's another shot being taken at AEW, at Tony Khan, at Will Ospreay, at Swerve Strickland. To be AEW is to be under constant attack. Can I give AEW some praise for once? Because it seems like all they get is fucking hate. Jen Pepperman might have been the greatest signing in AEW history for a non-on-screen character, for a behind-the-scenes help. Jen Pepperman has transformed this women's division. This is what I thought AEW's women's division could be. Telling multiple stories at once. With Mercedes Moné and Willow and Stat. And with Deanna and Thunder Rosa. And Anna Jay and Mariah. And Mariah and Mina Shirakawa. And Toni Storm in that love triangle. And it's just so brilliant. You're integrating multiple wrestlers. Multiple females now. It is brilliant. The AEW women's division, it still isn't perfect. I don't think it ever will be that way. But it's so good right now. It's the best the women's division has been. And just think, Camille has signed with AEW. That was announced today on Fightful Select. Best $5 in the business. Condolences out to Sean Ross Sapp with the loss of one of his family members this weekend. Thoughts and prayers out to him. Love the guy. Hope he's doing okay. Take all the time you need off. Fightful will be able to run just fine without you, Sean. We're thinking about you. Camille's coming. Britt Baker's coming back. Jamie Hayter's coming back. Oh, man. What aren't you to be excited about the AEW women's division? The Grizzled Young Veterans look like they may be AEW bound. They lost to the Acclaimed, but that's for a good purpose. We're telling a story for the Acclaimed. That's for good purpose. Just let the story play out. So they may be AEW bound. FTR still there. The Young Bucks are champions. They got an interesting character and gimmick going on. The tag team division looks great. If you were to just fucking watch the wrestling and not care about everything else about it, you would think AEW is the best thing in the world, because it fucking is. Will Ospreay gets an opportunity to fight Roderick Strong, so he's not going for Swerve's title belt. We get to see who Swerve is fighting at Double or Nothing on Wednesday in Winnipeg. It's just fucking brilliant. AEW's probably, story mode wise and wrestling wise, probably at some of its greatest storytelling in its entire history. But oh my god, we don't get a million fans to watch the fucking product live on the East Coast. And so the world fucking has to end. AEW is dying. Oh, it's fucking not. Oh, and Dawson decides to drop out of its international deal. There's another problem. Tony Khan's losing partnership. Bro, Triller TV, pay-per-view.com, YouTube are all now showing pay-per-views in the United States. This is a good thing. AEW's making move after move after move. Oh, but AEW's losing viewership. So is Raw. So is SmackDown. They both dropped like 10% this week. I'm so fucking over it, dude. I'm Team AEW all the way. And let's just say this. WWE is putting on decent product for what their audience wants, which is melodrama, soap opera. But that's not what the fan base of AEW wants. So you can't expect AEW to be a replica of WWE. That is an unfair idea to put on AEW. Because it's not meant to be the same exact fucking thing as WWE. It's meant to be an alternative. It is literally meant to be the complete 180 opposite of what WWE is. No, Tony Khan went on TV and said, we're the Pepsi of pro wrestling, and WWE is the Harvey Weinstein. Is he lying? There are known cases of sexual misconduct for decades now in the WWE. It's not just something that just popped up. It's a regular occurring thing. One of the biggest executives in the company is selling all of his stocks? That's pretty weird. Seems like he may know something. Seems like he may know something's up. It just feels a little weird that he's selling all of his shit. Right now? Why not? Why is he selling 100% of his stocks? Maybe he knows that he's complicit in the cover-up. He may not be there very long either. All alleged. I can't tell you why Nick Khan is selling everything. And to be honest, I don't give a fuck. But here's what I will say is Tony Khan didn't say anything wrong. He didn't say anything fucking wrong. It's just a bit ironic, though, that Tony Khan says that the same weekend Nick Khan sells all his stock. It's like maybe Tony Khan has a little bit of knowledge that something big's about to drop. I don't know. I'm just assuming shit at this point. Here we go. At the end of the day, and I'll say this again, like whatever the fuck you like. But you know what I fucking hate? Is when someone says, man, I love chocolate ice cream. And then there's somebody next to them and, chocolate's okay, but I like butter pecan. And someone says, oh, butter pecan tastes like asshole. Well, have you ever had it? No. Well, then how the fuck do you know what it tastes like? How can you complain about something you haven't experienced? If you don't fucking watch AEW, don't fucking complain about it. Why does it matter to you? It doesn't bother you. It doesn't affect your life what Tony Khan does every Wednesday and Saturday. Why does it fucking matter to you? Again, be real, be authentic. You only bitch and moan and complain because it's the popular thing to do. Because you think it gets you views. Because you think you're cool because you hate on an alternative product. You're not. You're making a fool out of yourself. Nobody gives a fuck about why you hate AEW. Let's just be fucking honest. Because it's not the AEW people. There's nobody that I know that loves and watch AEW every single week. Nobody I know that I interact with that loves AEW. And all they do is talk shit at week after week after week about WWE. No, we just don't fucking watch. And we don't fucking comment on it. We just let you like what you like. We don't critique your opinions. There is a girl that I follow on social media on my personal account, and she loves Roman Reigns and Bianca Belair, and great. Bianca's awesome. Roman, I don't like Roman, but she likes Roman Reigns, so I'm not going to shit on that. I don't like Roman Reigns, that's fine. I'd welcome her. I don't know if she watches AEW, but I'd welcome her on the podcast if she wanted to be on the fucking podcast. Even though I think she's a bigger WWE fan than an AEW fan, and I'm a bigger AEW fan than a WWE fan. She's welcome on the podcast, and we have cordial conversation. Why? Because at the end of the day, this is just an escape. This isn't real life. We don't live the business. This is just an entertainment source. It's just like the fucking people that like to talk about how, oh, you like rap music? Well, country music's the best. That's your opinion, man. Maybe the music wasn't made for you. And maybe the wrestling wasn't made for you. What do I like to see wrestling? And I tweeted this, I think. I don't pay to watch a soap opera. I can't imagine. There was a statistic that came out that Swerve Strickland's title match against Claudio Castagnoli on Collision lasted like 21 minutes. In the entirety of SmackDown, there was like 21 minutes of wrestling throughout the 2-hour show. And Collision kicked off with a 21-minute match. I could not imagine buying tickets, paying $60, $70, $80, $90, a couple $100 to go watch SmackDown for 85% of the time watching someone in the ring cut a promo or having to watch the Tron because they did a backstage vignette. And 15% of the time there's actually some sort of wrestling going on in the ring. That would piss me the fuck off. That's why I love AEW. It's because we get the story being told while the matches are happening. The story gets progressed through the match. There are stories to be told within the intricacies of every match. The story doesn't have to be told behind the curtain or in a promo. we can tell the story through the match. I pay hard-earned money to watch pro fucking wrestling, not a fucking soap opera. If I wanted to watch a soap opera, I would turn on Days of Our Lives at 2 o'clock on NBC if it still airs. I would turn on The Price is Right if I wanted to watch melodrama. I would watch some of them telenovelas on like Telemundo. I watch wrestling to watch wrestling, not fucking Days of Our Lives or Disney on Ice or The Avengers. I come to watch wrestling. And I don't understand why so many people who hate the fucking WWE, or who hate the fucking AEW, who hate AEW, have to fucking talk trash all the fucking time about it. We get it. You hate the product. Stop talking about it. We don't give a fuck about your opinion. I just ask that you be authentic about why you hate it. Don't act like, oh, I'll tell you how to fix the product, Tony. This is how you fix it. You don't care if Tony fixes the product. You just need content. And there's no content to talk about in the WWE. Because the only shit outside of the bullshit storylines that they tell that you can talk about are the sexual allegations by Vince McMahon towards Janelle Grant. That's the only shit that you can talk about outside of the boringness that happens every week. And you can't cut content that is so shallow, you can't make multiple episodes out of it. And so you have to sit here and be like, how can I shit on AEW this week? How can I make more content this week? I have to point it out. The Slapping Meat Wrestling podcast on this network, the Junkyard Media Group, for like 5 weeks in a row now, the Friday or Saturday show has been, well, here's how I would fix Collision, and here's how I would fix Dynamite, and here's how you tell a story, Tony Khan, and let's talk about the brands, how AEW is just a piece of shit, and how Tony Khan, we'll just write an article about how Tony Khan fucked up reaching the casuals for the 800th time. And it's like, keep preaching it. You're not reaching anybody, boy. You're not changing anybody's mind. It's not effective. You're just making yourself sound like a fucking lunatic by just, just sitting there crying wolf about a company. They're dying. This is surely, we'll see this on Dark Side of the Ring, or we'll surely see this in the Death of AEW book that comes out. We'll talk about this point right here. And it still kicks. They've been saying this since the fucking beginning. Oh, it's just a t-shirt company. They haven't even put on a match yet. They're just selling merchandise. And then they put on a hell of a very good match, their first pay-per-view. Double or Nothing 2019. Oh, they haven't put on a TV show yet. And we're 40 some odd episodes away from passing Monday Nitro. Collision is 17 or so episodes away from passing WCW Thunder. But it's going to die. It's going to die. It's going to die. Everything is going to kill AEW at some point. That's the only argument they have. And then they go out there and say, well, AEW fans, they can't take the criticism. They have to get so defensive about the company. No, we're just fucking tired of you running your mouth about something you don't even fucking watch. It gets a little fucking redundant at some point. And I'm tired of hearing it. From the big fuckers to the old school vets, to the little known podcasts who all they fucking do is rant about AEW. I got something to say for you. We don't give a fuck. Come up with something else for content. Be creative for once, you motherfuckers. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I can't anymore. I can't hold my tongue. It just pisses me off. Tune in this Thursday, guys. We'll recap the last couple of weeks of AEW, since we missed last week with the draft, NFL draft special on the channel. Link in the description for our WWE shop link. Buy your WWE merch. See, I don't care if you like WWE. I'm promoting their merchandise page. I get a commission off the sales that you buy using my link. I want WWE to do good, because if WWE does good and their merch does good and you click that fucking link, I get money. So click the goddamn link. Buy your fucking shit. The prices of everything are jacked up, so I would love more money. Use the link in the description. Follow us on all of the social medias. All of our social media links you can find at junkyardmediagroup.com. Easy to click buttons that you click and it directs you straight to that page. Join the motherfucking Discord, y'all. I want to build a community for both sides. I love that there is a ability to have people that like WWE and people that like AEW. And I want to build a community of everybody, because wrestling is so fun to watch when it's done right. And I just fucking hate the infighting. Like what you like, hate what you hate. Stop fucking complaining about stuff you don't watch. That's my message to the fucking world. Stop being grifters. Stop trying to fucking hate AEW just because it gets you more views and it gets you like a little bit of clout with Jim Cornette. Stay tuned this coming Thursday. We'll do that recap for AEW the last couple of weeks, and then the Thursday after, we do an AEW fantasy draft. Me and K-Dog, like I mentioned at the top of the show, will play as GMs of Collision and Dynamite, and we'll draft a roster, and we'll get some fan feedback and see who put together the best roster. I hope you guys are having a good Monday. We'll see you on Thursday on the live show, and until then, I will talk to you on the flip. Bye, y'all.